So one of these days, I hope to see a good Shane Black film. Suck it. Yeah, no. Okay, I don't think it's terrible. It's just, like, I keep hearing about how great of a filmmaker Shane Black is. It's like, oh, he made, like, this movie. But unfortunately, I keep watching his mainstream blockbusters, which have now consisted of Iron Man 3 and The Predator, and I'm like, for a guy who gets jerked off so much by pretentious movie Bob, I just, I'm not seeing it. And it sucks too, because I was actually looking forward to this one. Because I love The Predator. You love The Predator. And like, over like the last 2 years, I think, you and I have rewatched like all of the Alien films and all of the Predator films and the AVP films. Hey, one of those wasn't bad. One of those was watchable. But yeah, so this one. It is a fairly cogent film for the majority of it, and then just kind of goes off the rails in like the third act, where I had trouble keeping track of everything, and it felt like the plot was a bit more jumbled and confusing, and I couldn't understand why characters knew the information that they did, and like where characters were showing up, like when like I'm just gonna spoil the shit out of this movie. What was your opinion of it, real quick, before?
I fucking love this movie. It had a couple weird editing choices in the end, and I'm never a fan of the Indigo Children thing, but yeah, no, I fucking loved it.
Okay. I am meh on it, like, which really disappoints me, because, like I said, I love The Predator. I think, like, when I rewatched, like, the Predator movies, like, the first Predator, I was like, holy crap, no wonder everyone considers this a masterpiece. Predator 2, I'm like, fuck people for shitting on this movie. This movie is pretty fucking fantastic. Predators, I'm like, alright, not quite as good as I remember, but still fucking awesome. So, like, I'm going into this one, like, I'm hearing, like, the very mixed opinions, but every time there's, like, the mixed opinions, I usually end up on the more positive end of it, because it's like, okay, people are just stupid and they're not really getting what this movie is. At least it's how I end up walking away from a lot of those situations. But with this film, like, I feel it starts off fairly well. Like, you know, the sniper, and then the ship crashes. You have like the mother and the kid, and I'm like, okay, they're setting up all this stuff. I'm cool with a lot of it, and then I was actually a little worried looking at these main characters, because you have missed out on the Legendary Pictures Godzilla film, but it had a very similar dynamic where you have military guy and military guy's wife and military guy's son, and I'm like, shit, we're gonna get stuck with this boring ass dynamic. And no, military guy is pretty fucking rad. I like this character. You know, he was entertaining. He got some good one-liners in without being too quippy.
I decided I would love this man for the rest of my life when he had eyes on the target, looked up and saw the spaceship crashing, looked back down, and killed his target.
Yeah, like you know, like the son actually has like a personality. He isn't just like the autistic kid, which honestly, you know, like the kid in Godzilla, you know, is someone who I would kind of write off as the autistic, because like, the kid in that movie had like zero fucking personality. The wife had zero personality. Here it's just like, okay, like the kid's got like his little quirk. But he actually has like a bit of, you know...
Yeah, the kid's not dead weight. He's in the movie for a reason other than, there's a child! The danger has been turned up!
Yeah. And, like, the mother character, I'm like, okay, she's not just going to be, like, the one sitting in, oh, I'm so worried about what's going on. It's like, no, like she has an attitude, she's, like...
She got a glass of wine in one hand, I'll fight a cop, fucking let's go!
Yeah, look, she's great. So, like, but I spent, like, the first act of the movie really concerned about her, and it's like, that ended up not being the case. They were all really well handled, well written, well integrated into the film. Then you have the like the ragtag motley crew of crazy soldiers
who all survived a lot longer than I thought they were gonna.
Yeah, and I feel like you kind of like they end up surviving for as long as they do, so they could have like oh, we spent the whole movie with them, like this was my team, and like you get all the trinkets at the end with that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But like, my God, that the opening scene, like the entire bus scene with those characters, I fucking hated.
Fuck you, it was great.
Nope, it was so obnoxious.
Nope,
I hated it.
Mm-mm.
Like
Wrong.
I didn't start liking these characters until they were like more spread out. Like we get like a couple of pairings and just kind of seeing like their dynamics of these characters bouncing off instead of just like I'm the religious guy, I'm the funny guy, I'm the Tourette's guy.
Yeah,
I'm the.
You remember the chopper scene from 1, right?
Yes, and it was so much better because that Jesse Ventura.
That doesn't
Shane
count.
Black.
It's the same fucking scene.
Which is so weird because Shane Black wrote that scene in the original Predator.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, like the fucking nerdy guy with the glasses who says like all like the cringy quips and shit, that's Shane Black himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was added to that movie to make it a bit funnier. And with this movie, it's just like I feel like he's going for that scene, but it's just it comes off as really grating and obnoxious because like we got to get all these characters like their personality traits out of the way, and it just felt really awkwardly shoehorned in and not organic at all. I didn't care about it. Like I said, I didn't stop finding those characters grating until like the second act of the film, and I'm like, okay, like I'm seeing them kind of bounce off of one another. But yeah, still that I can deal with. Where the movie just kind of flies off the rails is after, like, pretty much from the point that they ripped the head off of the main predator that's been in this movie, and then onward. Also, okay, one of the complaints I've heard about this film is Olivia Munn.
Really?
Very specifically because she's hyper-competent female. Like, she's the scientist who is wielding guns as well as the trained soldier guys and outlasting them.
Not as well.
Huh?
I said not as well.
I mean, she's getting up in the trench, she's holding it correctly. She's doing it, and when I first heard about that, I'm like, oh god, it's this complaint again. Because I hear it so often. When any movie where any female is remotely fucking competent, they get that complaint. And I'm seeing the scene where she has the trank gun and she's trying to survive and she's going after the predator. I'm like, okay, I am totally buying this. But then later in the movie when she's grabbing shotguns and she's super proactive, I'm like, okay, you have gone from Otacon to I don't know, Otacon in NGS4, who has just been in the thick of this shit for years, is nowhere near as competent as this woman is.
Otacon's a giant sweater-wearing pussy.
Yeah, and at no point do we have my dad was military no lines of dialogue to explain why this woman is as because she's already the stereotype of the super hot scientist, which I don't care about that. Whatever. Smart women are fucking sexy regardless. And, sure, sexy scientist women do exist. But when you have, sexy scientist woman who is, also super proficient in arms, and is just, getting in the trenches with the trained soldiers. The moment, I think, the moment I rolled my fucking eyes the hardest is at, near the end of the film, where main dude's about to get off, and she just jumps, she's in cloaked mode, jumps on the fucking predator's shoulders, fucks him up a bit.
See, I love that scene because that was a terrible fucking plan. She had nowhere to go and nothing she could accomplish by doing that.
Yeah.
And she survived the longest because she was always in the back behind all the trained soldiers.
Kinda. It's just, I don't know. And the fact that, when she jumps on a fucking predator, she doesn't get, ripped in two immediately, where, Thomas Jane, fucking just...
That's just fucking plot armor.
Right, yeah. That's the thing, yeah. She's got that heavy-duty plot armor, she's hyper-competent, and it's a little too many mixtures of everything, and...
Your problem with Olivia Munn's character is that she's too awesome?
Yeah, because it's the same issue I had with Adrian Brody's character in Predators. It's just like he made the right decision at every single turn, and everyone was wrong except for him. And it's I hate the hyper competent protagonist in general, like the protagonist who just gets out of everything pretty much unscathed. Even
I have a lot of Golden Age sci-fi for you to never read.
Probably it's kind of like the Die Hard situation where you watch Die Hard and which I will eventually do one day. We've had this discussion. I've never watched it in one sitting. I've watched all of it across like 6 sittings.
You're gonna sit there and have an opinion about movies?
Yes. Now give me a moment. But yeah, John McClane gets horribly fucked up in that movie. You would see that all the time. Shit, in the original Predator, Schwarzenegger is fucked up by the end of that movie. Danny Glover is fucked up by the end of the Predator 2. Even Adrian Brody is pretty fucked up by it. But by the end of this movie, like Olivia Munn doesn't even have like a hair out of place. She's got a little bit of dirt, and it's the same thing with like I was also talking to some coworkers about why I hated Jurassic World over like Jurassic Park, where by the end of Jurassic Park, everyone in that movie's fucked up horribly. Chris Pratt looks fucking pristine and chiseled and handsome, and he's like sweaty, dirty, sexy. And then you have bitch with like the fucking high heels the entire time, and her white fucking outfit that doesn't have a fucking loose thread on it, and it's that type of thing I am hating in movies where we have heavily plot armored, invincible protagonist, and the Predator is not a movie for characters like that. It's like you have the cannon fodder, and then you have the invincible protagonist who never get a scratch on them. And that's something I just don't like. Because, I was waiting for, okay, is he going to have the fight where, he's going to have to, duke it out with the Predator and shit. And he has that fight, but once again, by the end of it, dude's not really all that fucked up. And he didn't even go into it, with a plan. Schwarzenegger and Brody go into it with a plan to take down the Predator. Danny Glover basically just uses his knowledge of the city to his advantage to outsmart the Predator. And here it's just I'm in the woods, I'm gonna duke it out with a fucking upgrade Predator.
Rangers lead the way.
Yeah, it's just shit. I wish that guy was a Power Ranger. It would have made this movie a little bit more interesting. I know Rangers were an actual thing.
Okay, I don't want to call you out.
Just, Jay, you know, Rangers are a thing. That's where the Power Ranger thing goes. But yeah, just that entire third act, from the point that they get, like I said, after the first Predator dies, they get to the house, the fucking dog Predator just.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of hanging out with him now for some reason.
That whole second part of the movie, as soon as the Halloween scene starts, I got the feeling that this was one of those old school 80s, kid befriends an alien movies, except that it happened to be rated R and directed by Shane Black.
See, I would have bought that, if, the Predator, the first Predator had hung around and teamed up with the humans to fight off the big mean fucking Predator. I don't know. There's just, a lot of things in this movie that's just kind of weird to me. Like I said, it's all from, after the first Predator dies, after that, the film just doesn't coalesce well for me, because it kind of becomes, a completely different movie, which usually I'm fine with. Dusk Till Dawn, love it. You're Next, fucking love it. Mm-hmm. Those are movies that kind of do, the genre switch up, and I usually totally dig that. And this movie just becomes a completely different Predator movie, and I feel like it becomes a Predator movie that doesn't quite make sense, because because you have the one Predator who's just trying to help mankind survive against the other Predators, but I kind of don't understand the logic there. Why is this Predator doing this? Also,
you never met Greenpeace?
Okay. But the reason I question this is one, Predator culture's always been this, and he seems to just be a Predator. He seems to be a regular Predator. So I don't quite understand why he's trying to help us fight off against these bigger, meaner predators who are trying to wipe us out. Because they even say, like, what does humanity have? Like, a couple of generations, and then we're all going to be wiped out by global warming. And the predator... So, like, he's trying to help us fend off his people from wiping us out when we're apparently already going to be wiped out anyhow. They just want to inhabit our planet because predators prefer warmer climates.
And it might not be about us. I mean, like I said before, after I think one of the AVP films, there's something to do with there's two kinds of predators and they hate each other.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's clearly like that kind of mentality.
Like this movie is full of a whole lot of we don't know why this is happening, and then a bunch of people pulling random shit out of their ass.
Yes, I think that
this is what I mean, which happens in every fucking alien movie. Like, I think he's here to do this. Why the fuck do you assume that?
Yeah. Like people make like really weird jumps in logic to try to like, and clearly those jumps in logic are there to try to explain the plot to the audience. Where I feel like doing that has just made it more confusing and is actually detrimental to the view experience, because now I'm sitting there questioning all this shit, trying to make sense of the shit that they're saying and what's happening on the screen, when really if they just shut the fuck up and let the movie play out. Because, like, the Predator movies have always been fairly simple ideas. You know, like, and the thing I love about the first two Predator films is that they are completely different movies. Like, they are their own movies, and then a Predator shows up. Like, one's a military war film, and then a fucking Predator shows up in the middle of it and fucks everything up. The second film is like a police crime drug cartel movie, and then a Predator shows up and fucks everything up. Predators is just, you know, like the concept is still very simple. Predator planet, drop them down onto their hunting ground. Very simple concepts. Here it's like it's got this really weird like a lot of lore being thrown at us, and AVP does that.
It's like a Predator movie, and then in the middle of it, a Predator shows up.
Oh my God! Jesus Christ! Oh! Fuck! Oh, I think I just lost. But yeah, so tell me why you enjoyed this movie so much, now that I've bitched a bunch.
Because... Oh, why is this always more difficult? Because I didn't have a problem with the welcome to the bus, we're going to go around and display everybody's main character quirk thing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love movies that don't have characters that are dead weight. So yes, when Olivia Munn starts picking up every long arm in sight and sticking to the back and just spraying bullets with everyone, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, let's fucking go. I honestly liked how fucking goofy a lot of these setups and payoffs were. Because, I mean, the Predator is a monster. So we did Predator 1, and it was fucking threatening and terrifying. We did Predator 2, and it was fucking Secret of the Ooze, and he was out there in the light, and it was a little silly, but it still fucking worked. And at a certain point, we can't keep making the same slasher flick with Predator. It has to change and be different.
Right,
and this was fucking weird.
Yes.
And I kind of, like, when
I appreciate it being weird, by the way. Like I appreciate a lot of things about it. I just feel like the way it just doesn't coalesce into like a good movie for me as a whole. I like the ideas it's kicking around. It's just I feel like they didn't stitch them together properly.
there was a point after the 11-foot tall Predator showed up where I'm like, this is dumb. This is not what a Predator is. This is not how Predator movies go. This is not the whole... Oh my God, did they make a big, dumb, like, Nightfall Predator so that the audience wouldn't root for the Predator in the third act? I'm really enamored with the notion, because, like, the kid takes all the Predator equipment, right? And, like, a guy throws a rock at him, and the helmet blows up the guy's house.
Yeah. That was a great scene. I love that.
This whole arc of, the like, all that shit is automatic. How pussy shit are these trophy hunters coming down to this planet?
I mean,
I mean, before it was all like, oh, they've got too much weaponry, and it was, like a big game hunting metaphor. But no, they're not even aiming the fucking guns. That shit all happens automatically. They just walk around till their equipment kills something.
Oh yeah, no, I've always thought like the Predators were pussy shit when you think about it for more than 5 minutes. So yeah, I being more positive. Like I said, there's a lot of things I like. I like how weird it is. I like how kind of, like I said, it's kicking around a lot of ideas. Pretty inventive. I love/hate the autistic kid because he's genuinely entertaining as a character. He's an interesting character. I totally dig the idea of like his specific part, where he is on the spectrum. He basically just gets to like Rain Man, fucking just he sees like the pattern recognition, is able to like decrypt Predator like ease and their whole interface, and that's a cool idea. Telling me outright that they're basically new types, and the next step in human evolution, I'm like, movie, no. Because I like the whole idea. It's like, oh yeah, like he's wired differently, so he instead of specking in like social skills, he's specced into like pattern recognition and all this weird shit, and just it made him super adept at dealing with this. That's a really cool idea. I do like the idea that the Predator wanted that kid. That's like, yeah, no, like we want to fucking. I do like the idea of adding that lore that they ripped out the spinal columns.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing. It's just because sometimes it just fillets a motherfucker and hangs him. But there's those very, very specific moments where like the one guy who like cuts himself in the first movie, like that guy just gets his fucking spinal column ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, the idea is just, it's a trophy because he was a warrior. It's that warrior respect. But now they add an extra bit of lore that's like, they're also going to drain your spinal fluid and reintegrate that into their DNA because you were that fucking awesome. And that's really cool. Also, makes me respect a guy who cut himself in that movie because, he, like that Predator was just like, that guy. I want that guy's spinal fluid in my bloodstream. Yeah, like I said, like there's a lot of really cool ideas here. I was really disappointed that at like the tail end of that movie, oh man, the end of this movie is like really, really dumb. Where like
it does, like it rolls out a little too long. It's like this movie is chock-a-block with just great, holy shit, look at that action spots. Mm-hmm. And the end of the movie just sort of like rolls out and keep like the whole movie's this giant katamari of cool shit. And as it keeps going, like more shit falls off, and you get down to the end, and there's like 3 characters left, and they're like, "Are we done shooting this thing yet?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like one scene in that final battle I genuinely liked, and that is when like the Predator like puts his arm against the ship to stand up, and the kid like turns on the fucking barrier and takes his goddamn arm off. I'm like, okay, that was pretty great. I liked that.
It did. It picked up right at the end when it was just use everything we learned to try and take him down. He pulls out his fucking arm and kneecaps the bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's good stuff here.
But seriously, what happened to that dog?
Yeah, no, the dog just fucking disappeared.
Like he shows up with the bomb and we never see him again. Did he die? Was he next to the thing when it blew?
I don't know. I cannot fucking remember what ends up happening.
We're gonna rewatch it and like the dog like tackles him and holds him still for the guy to shoot him with the blade, and we're gonna look like idiots.
Right, yeah. Well, the thing is, though, that's part of the problem with this movie. Like I said, the third act is when this movie really falls apart because like things are happening so fast. Like I couldn't even remember, like, because I just remember at some point like the military guys show up and they're interrogating like Olivia Munn, and like they got like the kid, and I'm like, wait, shit, when the hell did this even happen? That happened really quick. All right, and like it was just like from that point onward, just shit's happening and just full steam ahead, and it's really hard to keep track of everything. The action beats are going by too quickly, and I just, the movie just really becomes a blur after that point.
No, I just didn't have that problem.
Oh yeah, for me, like I just had trouble keeping track of everything.
If you lose the thread at that point in the movie, that whole last part is going to be a slog.
Yeah, no, like it was just the editing just felt so clumsy. The directing felt a lot clumsier and sloppier, and I think that might also have to do with the fact that they had like a bunch of reshoots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's apparently a lot of reshoots. Half of the bag was talking about like there was like photos that are apparently that was from the original ending of the movie where it had like soldiers teamed up with predators on a tank, and I'm like, where the fuck was that ending? That sounds so much cooler than what we fucking got.
Jesus.
What the fuck was the original ending of this movie? But yeah, and then there's like the sequel tease, which I thought was fucking retarded as hell.
Oh my god, no. That's when it finally ticked over into full-on dumb. I love it.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think it would have been full-on dumb. I love it if it would have been Cyborg Arnold Schwarzenegger as the secret weapon to slay the Predators. Oh, man. So, yeah. Like, the Predator, man. Whew. Like, also, man, fuck movie naming schemes now. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Yeah,
because like the
we
Predator,
need to stop doing. Like, give us a subtitle or some shit.
Yeah, it's like Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. Like, I'm getting tired of this shit. Like, oh god, I hate it.
When that pod opened up and like the thing came out of it, there was a piece of my mind that ironclad thought there's a non-zero chance that's the fucking Guyver.
That would have been so fucking cool. Oh my god. That would have been the dopest shit. Oh, so, interesting thing. Did you notice that the spear from AVP was in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like straight up.
Yeah,
So,
it took me 2 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck is... Nah.
yeah, like the fucking spear from AVP is in this movie. It's like, oh, so I guess... And I'm assuming those two Predator helmets may have been actually the helmets from the first two movies. I'm assuming is what those are.
I couldn't tell you.
I figured, like, you know, that's why very specifically it's two Predator helmets and then, like, that spear. It's just like, it's all canon, whether you like it or not. So I guess the AVP films are canon to the Predator universe, but not canon to the Alien universe. But the Xenomorphs do exist in the Predator universe. It's just they have a completely different origin story. So that's the thing there. Also, to wrap all this up, before this video, I did a poll. And you guys have to choose between a Predator video or a Hell in a Cell video. You guys chose a Predator video. For all of you guys who are disappointed this isn't a Hell in a Cell video, Hell in a Cell was fucking awesome.
That's true.
Except for the last 15 seconds. Becky Lynch's MVP. Don't you dare fuck her over at whatever the next big pay-per-view you're going to try to take her title from her. She's
I think
great.
she's facing Charlotte at Super Showdown, so
Yeah.
we might just coast this until then.
Yeah, it's really weird that like, because I didn't realize that Super Showdown was like an actual main show, like an actual main pay-per-view.
Oh, is it? It's not an extra?
It's not an extra because in October we're getting that in Evolution, the women's pay-per-view. So I was just like, oh, because I looked it up. I'm like, okay, like we have this Super Showdown thing they keep fucking talking about. What is the actual paper? Because I was thinking this was going to be like the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I'm looking it up. I'm like, no, it's this is apparently the Super Showdown is the pay per view for next month, and along with Evolution for for that all women's pay per view. You'd think that they would have Becky defend that title there instead of the Super Showdown, but whatever. I'm hoping she doesn't lose her title because I like Becky Lynch way more. Charlotte's awesome, but Becky Lynch, like, she's got that fucking attitude. She's just the best. But yeah, Hell in a Cell was fucking awesome. They're keeping the momentum going, and up until those last 15 seconds, it sucked. The last 15 seconds sucked. Everything else was fucking awesome. And once again, going back to the Predator, did you have anything else to say about the Predator?
The Predator is not an example of great American cinema that will go down in history, but it's funny as shit, and there's a lot of cool-ass action in it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
Like, there's some good quips. Like, I found it funny. Like, I like when the kid was just like, reverse psychology. I can do that too. Don't go fuck yourself. I'm like, okay, it's pretty great. And there's like the one line, just like, dude, don't say retarded. The guy's kid's retarded. I'm like, okay, that got a fucking chuckle out of me. But yeah, like I said, the bus scene was horribly grating to me, and like the bus scene was really grating and didn't work for me. And the entire third act of the film just felt like a jumbled mess. But there's a lot of cool ideas. I appreciate what it was trying to be. I would like to see what the original vision of this film was before it got hacked up. Apparently, there's also a bunch of stuff that got hacked up because one of the guys in the movie was a sexual predator.
Yeah. I remember that.
And had to get cut out of the movie. And Fox went, "Oh fuck, you put a pedophile in this fucking movie?" He's just like, "Well, I mean, I didn't know he was like a pedophile. I just knew he had a history of being a sex offender." Okay, so yeah, good job, Shane Black. I really just need to fucking watch The Nice Guys because apparently that's the really good Shane Black film. It's that one with.
No, I know the one.
Yeah. I never watched it, and like that's like the one I hear nothing but unanimous praise for. So I'm like, I apparently need to watch that one.
Sorry.
I need to watch like his more lower budget kind of quirkier movies because, like I said, his big blockbusters. I fucking hated Iron Man 3. It was the first time I had actually hated an MCU film, and this. Like, it was interesting, and I appreciate what it's trying to do, but it just didn't coalesce for me in a way that I could, like, come out of it going, that was a good, enjoyable experience. So, yeah. He recommends it. I say just wait for Blu-ray. Fucking Redbox the shit. I don't have a joke to end this shit on. Make what the funny. Come on, you're the quippy one. Everybody likes you more than me, so be funny, you fat funny fuck!